Hello and welcome to a discussion with Alexander Kolodin. And Alexander is the attorney for the Republican Party in Arizona. And we'd like to welcome you to the show, Alexander.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Ron.
Hey, this is great. We've been friends for quite a time now, and Alexander is generally on top of what's going on in the legislature and in the state political arena. And right now, there's a bill here. There's been lots of bills because this election has been kind of crazy, and people have lost faith in the election process. People have lost faith in the political parties. People are jumping off certain parties and joining other parties, especially the either the Libertarian or the party that the Independent, which is not a organized party per se, but that's what's happening. And people, a lot of people have even said they don't want to vote, Alexander. They don't want to vote anymore. So you have taken up a bill here. It's House Bill 2720, and it's really an important political bill. Tell us a little about that, who wrote it, how it came about, and the tenets of the bill.
Well, sure. So, as you know, I'm the lawyer for the Republican Party, although I'm not here in that capacity today. Was also the Arizona attorney for Sidney Powell, represented President Trump's electors in the election litigation. So I knew a thing or two about, what's wrong with our election systems and how to fix it. And one of my friends in the legislature, Representative Bullock, came to me, and she wanted my advice on, okay, well, Alex, if I'm going to fix this stuff, what should I do? What are some changes, that you would recommend? Mm-hmm. And she wasn't just talking to me. She was talking to lots of constituents, 30,000. She got 30,000 calls and emails. She was
wow.
She was talking to poll watchers. She was talking to everybody. So I go, all right, here's 17 pages of changes to statutes I'd make. I just gave my dream list, and I figured, she'd introduce one, she'd introduce two, and I would have been ecstatic with that because these are major, important systemic changes. And she introduced almost all of them. I mean, she made almost all of the suggestions. Obviously, making her own changes to it. And it's in my mind as the Republican lawyer who was most involved out of any lawyer in the state of Arizona. I think it's fair to say I was most involved on the Republican side, fighting everything that went wrong with our election. I have to say, in my legal opinion, this is the most important election integrity related bill currently pending before the legislature. And I have been around the state. I was just down in LD 14 talking to the folks down in Benson, and everybody is still so stirred up and so mad. In my LD 23, people so stirred up and so mad. And I love it. I love the passion. But what I need you to do so that we never have this situation again is take that passion, and I need you to call your members of the legislature and tell them that you want this bill because it fixes so many things, Ron. It fixes so many things. It gives you jury trial for election challenges, so you don't have these judges, these liberal judges, just throwing out the challenges, right? You actually get to a jury of Americans who get to pass judgment on whether an election has been free and fair. You get the legislature with the ability not to pick their own winner, but to revoke the Secretary of State certification if the legislature feels something's gone wrong. And this was purely Bullock, which I think was absolutely brilliant. Is she has the numbers. She requires the counties to keep track of the numbers of ballots that they print. So any citizen of Arizona can look at the number of early ballots printed, emergency ballots printed, and compare it to the number of votes that were cast, and see were there more votes cast than ballots.
That's been one of the big bugaboos is that vote cast reports. I still haven't seen one for the last election. I've been yelling and screaming to see that, and that is, if you have 100,000 votes that come in to be counted, then at the back end you should have 100,000. I shouldn't say votes, 100,000 ballots, and at the back end you should have 100,000 ballots that have been counted.
That's right. That's right.
They should balance, and if they don't balance, you got a problem.
And people who have worked for election integrity for a long time, this is one of their number one things. Well, here it is. It's available to you. All you got to do is call your rep and demand it. And right now, the bill is in committee, or is in the conciliation process, which Representative Nutt's in charge of. She's a good Republican, but she's got a lot of bills in front of her.
And she's from, I think, LD 14.
Yes, she is. But she's got a lot of bills in front of her, and she's going to have to prioritize which ones she's going to let advance. So here's what I want to do for your audience, Ron. I want to give you Representative Nutt's number. And if you agree with me that this bill is the most important thing, or one of the most important things the legislature can take action on the cycle, I'd ask you to please call her and let her know that you want this bill to advance. Can I give the number?
Oh, of course. Give the number, and then we'll tell people how they can get a hold of their own personal representative.
Absolutely. So her number is 602-926-4852. Again, her number is 602-926-4852.
And she's from Greenlee County, and that's way out east. Way out yonder, as they say in Arizona, and it's right against New Mexico, as a matter of fact. Now, if you want to contact your own personal representative, you don't know how, go to your computer and you Google Arizona Legislature, I think .gov, azleg.gov. Any rate, it'll get you there, and there'll be a list of your senators, and there'll be a list of your members of the House of Representatives. Call them. This is what representative democracy is supposed to be about, is you can't be there, but they're there. So you tell them what you think and what you'd like them to say or do, or how you would like them to vote. This is really important because this is our country. Our founders had this in mind. It didn't start out we the government. It started out we the people.
That's right. And now's the time. I mean, posting on Facebook, that's great. Talking to your friends about what went wrong, that's great. But now you need to take that energy and you need to put it into getting major systemic change, because that is the only way that this is never going to happen again.
Yes, and we must stop that, because this country is moving in the wrong direction. I posted something yesterday, Alexander, and I was just shocked at how many people I just put down there. Remember when gas was $2.19 a gallon? Today it's $2.55, and the president of the Biden. I can't even say that. But at any rate, gasoline's gone up that much, and he's only been in office, 3 weeks.
Something like that.
Maybe it
feels like an eternity.
Maybe it's 4 weeks tomorrow.
Oh, God.
And so we've got to do something about this, because your vote is your idea of the direction this country is to go. And it should not be mistaken. It should not be taken away from you. And you need the confidence that it's counted the way you voted it.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we have a good conservative Republican like Representative Bullock who gets our back and actually makes the changes, or tries to make the changes that we've been demanding, we need to get her back. I look at the request to speak on this bill, and the Democrats outnumber Republicans 3-1. How can we let that happen? We can't.
Yeah. No. This is a. In my opinion, this is a do-or-die situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, we cannot allow this to happen. And if you look back not only to the 2020 election, but you look back to 2018, I remember going to bed thinking, oh my gosh, the Republicans won this, that, or the other. And this is not a political issue, guys. This could work the other way around.
That's right.
But I remember going to bed, and then 3 days later, found out the opposition candidates had won.
Yeah.
And there was nothing you could do about it.
That's right.
I mean, that's it. They just said, okay, certified. And you see all of the nonsense that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors is playing now, holding things up, not letting them out. I always say, and I think you'd agree, the best disinfectant is fresh air and sunshine. And so bring it out. Let's all look at it and see what the problems are.
And good checks and balances. The liberal national media has been pillaring Representative Bullock for this bill, saying, oh, it lets the legislature replace the will of the voters. No. Well, here's what the current system is. One person, right now it's Democrat Katie Hobbs, one person gets to decide whether Arizona's vote totals are certified. And this bill says, wait, that's way too much power for one person to have. A bipartisan body like the legislature that has 90 members ought to have a say in that process. And under the U.S. Constitution, that's where the power was originally put by our framers. So this isn't about usurping the will of the voters, but it's about restoring the original intent of the republic.
And I just wanted to make a comment here that was very, very poignant that I did not like. And Secretary of State Hobbs also had called Trump supporters Nazis. And this is the person that's making the decision as to where we go.
Do you want
she believes that half of the voters of the state are Nazis?
Yeah. Well, because I look at language like that and I go, let's say that I had been in a position, to usurp the will of the voters who are voting for the Nazi party in Germany, right? Mm-hmm. You would do it, right? If you really feel the other side's Nazis, of course you're going to cheat, right? Of course you are. And so we just can't let one person make that decision.
Absolutely. And, once again, the plenary responsibility of the elections is with the legislature.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Board of Supervisors has usurped that authority.
Right.
The courts have turned their back on it, if I may be so bold. I don't think that, and you know more than I do because you've stood up before them and brought your cases to the courts, even to the Supreme Court of Arizona, and you won that case. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And we all know that there's a lot of things that go on that are just questionable. This bill will give you the power that you need as a citizen of the state of Arizona and of the United States, for that matter. It will give you the power back that was usurped over the last God knows how many years.
That's right. Over the past many, many years, has the legislature given away its prerogatives or people taking it away? The ability to control redistricting, the ability to control certification. And it's time to bring some of that power back to the legislature because these are our most direct and intimate representatives,
exactly.
Right? These are the people that you can pick up the phone and call. You can go to your LD meeting and talk to them. They're right there. They're the first level of democracy. They're the most accountable to the people, and they should have the power. Pick up the phone and try to call Secretary Hobbs, see if you get through. Then pick up the phone and try to call your state rep. And I think you'll agree the power belongs with the legislature.
Yes. And we have some really wonderful people there. I'm really happy with the newer crop of legislators that we have. They're younger. They're excited about their job, and that's the thing that really excites me about it. I've had a couple of them even ask if they could. They called me and said, "Could you come over and we'll go to a little coffee shop and talk about what you think," because they respect me as a community leader.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, that's never happened before.
Yeah.
What a concept. And so I like that. And as Alexander said, you're not going to get any closer to the people. I mean, I know the representatives, but for me, I've asked one of them to support a bill, which he has, and it's moving through the legislature. I know congressmen, but I doubt seriously I could talk to a congressman and have my ideas go through the Congress of the United States.
That's right.
Because that's all big bucks and everything. So one more, we're going to run out of time here momentarily. It's Becky Nutt. We want to call her.
Becky Nutt, absolutely. And again, her number is 602-926-4852.
And also, you go. Just get on your computer. You can even get on your phone and just Google the Arizona, I think it's azleg.gov, and come up. It'll list all the names of your senators. It will name all the names of your representatives, their phone numbers, their emails, and it's got one other thing that I find is priceless. It will tell you what committees they serve on.
Extremely important.
And so if you want to see, well, who's looking at this stuff, this will go through the governmental committee.
That's right.
And you want to see who those people are. And any other comments before we go? This is a great omnibus bill. It just blankets everything. It says everything.
It absolutely does. The name of that bill, again, is HB, like House Bill, right? 2720. HB 2720.
And we thank you for joining us this fine day. And get busy. It's important. This is your country. And so this is your homework assignment. Go for it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you, Ron.